After about 2 months and some change of not being talked about by the national media and in many NBA fandom circles, Joel Embiid is finally starting to get the respect and recognition that he deserves, being placed in the MVP conversation among the other NBA elite. Now, what took Bulls so long to do so? I don't know. And it honestly speaks to the blatant disregard that the overall masses have for Philadelphia professional sports. Bulls just be hating. But what I do know is at the time of this recording, the Philadelphia 76ers stand 5th in the Eastern Conference standings with an overall record of 22-16, giving them the 9th best record in the league that many thought would be impossible to obtain with the loss of one Ben Simmons for most of the season up to this point. Simply put, this team is defying the odds on a nightly basis due to the outstanding carrying abilities of this man. It is safe to say we are firmly in the midst of his prime. Let's talk about it. This season, the process has been averaging 26.8 points per game, 10.7 boards, with 1.4 blocks, while shooting 47.8% from the field on 18 attempts per game and 32 minutes of action. You can see it every single night at the Wells Fargo Center. Bull does everything for the squad. Rebounding, screen setting, paint controlling, ball handling, passing, playmaking, defensive anchoring, you name it. The team is 19-8 with him compared to 3-8 without. To give you a snapshot of his dominance, of his overall dominance, that is, over the last 6 games, and keep in mind the Sixers are on a 6-game winning streak at the moment. Embiid has averaged 33 points, 10.5 boards, while shooting 56% from the field and 44% from the actual three-point line, while getting to the line 11.5 times per matchup. That is monstrous. These stats followed a whole month of December where Embiid played so well that he was given Eastern Conference Player of the Month for his troubles. All light work. Now, if you are a Sixer fan, you have been marveled by his MVP performance last year. Last year was a time where he actually finally matured and became Joel MVP, doing what we all thought that he could be. But with this season came a lot of scrutiny and came a lot of unknown. What transformed him back to his MVP situation this time around, other than Benny 1 point? His overall development, his increased leadership, and his mentality. Let's take a deep dive, shall we? Watching Joel Embiid develop his overall game this season has been a delightful watch, let me tell you. Developing himself so much so to where he has become a point center, bringing the ball up down center, bringing the ball down the court, running to the hoop with ballerina-like reflexes, his passing abilities. One of his biggest flaws as a young boy, he has clearly been working on that. Joel Embiid is playing a better brand of basketball all around. If you look at his stats, in fact, this year he is shooting his highest three-point percentage at 38.9% and has the most assists in his career at 4.3 per game. Almost a true point center. Kind of like Jokic, but like more dominant, well, way more dominant on defense, but like in the sense of like handling the ball more, not from a set position. The second point, his increased leadership. Him holding teammates, and especially himself, but teammates accountable to get better. We have seen him many times during press conferences calling out teammates to actually increase their skill set, not on some hating mean type, tight time, but actually giving him a nudge, some tough love to let Bulls know that people are on their side. I'm looking at Maxey and Matisse, even speaking on Tobias when Tobias had the little skirmish with us fans for booing him. You have to stick to your game and just do you. And it really has been working. This team has been working as an actual unit and not taking things to heart when their big man calls them out. If your main player, if your best player is being the leader, Bulls will follow. Because what are they going to do? Say no. And the third point, his mentality. Like I'm really starting to love and like appreciate the mental aspect, the mental wherewithal that Joel Embiid brings to competition. I say this speaking specifically when we played KD in the Brooklyn Nets and when we won an intense, almost playoff-like game, Joel Embiid waved this man off of his own home court. Now, you got to understand, like, that's very arrogant as hell. Crazy, too. But you got to understand, like, the balls on this man to, one, wave a legend, KD, out of the arena, but two, doing this while away. You have to be able to back that up. Like, you have to have some big cojones to actually do that. And Joel Embiid is saying, F it, I'm that bull. Get out the building. That's crazy. Like, Embiid has, like, probably reached a state of bliss to where he knows, like, yo, like, we can take these bulls. Even, you know, him giving his signature hand raise to the crowd in Orlando. This is all at away games. Like, who's doing this and getting away with it? I could say that this is a part of his growth with Mamba mentality, like not giving an F who says what. It still has to produce in the clutch moments. Not saying that Joel Embiid doesn't have the most clutch time points in the NBA right now, but I do need to see more when it comes to those times. In conclusion, the team begins and ends with Joel. They will go as far as he takes them in the playoffs. I have always had us as a top 5 seed with Joel Embiid being healthy, but if he continues this dominance going into the rest of the season, there is no reason why we cannot be top 4. And hell, maybe even top 3, even though I don't want to get greedy. Embiid is playing aggressive basketball while also playing team ball, not trying to do it all by himself. Barely shooting bad 3-point shots, passing the ball and trusting his teammates, guys. His body language is big, pouting when he doesn't get the ball or doesn't get his way. That has shown to be a thing of the past this season. There's a reason why you're seeing a lot of the chemistry increase on this team. There's a reason why you see Joel Embiid getting to the line more and not being as lazy as he has in the past. So no, when I truly think about it, this is not a wasted season. Maybe it was needed to unlock the full basketball repertoire of Joel Embiid.